This episode is brought to you by Racers 360. Racers 360 is your one-stop shop for all your race car driving education and coaching needs. Check out this testimonial on how the Racers 360 coaches have helped cut seconds off their clients' lap times.
My name is Ben Grambo, and I compete in time trials in NASA Mid-Atlantic. I've been using Racers 360 since the middle of 2018, and two things I really like about Racers 360 is that you get the recording of your lap with your coaching session with the coach doing the voice overlay and also doing the drawings for the lines and other driving techniques on top of the video. And you get to watch that again and again. You can study it. You can take notes from it. And that's a real advantage compared to having maybe an instructor just in the right seat with you, where you only get to retain as much as you can learn within that given session. The other thing I use is the same-day coaching service. Drive on Saturday, upload the video at the end of the day, go eat dinner. Usually I get the video back right after dinner. I watch it that night, watch it again in the morning, take some notes, and then go drive faster on Sunday. Racers 360's really helped me go a lot faster and have a lot of fun.
Now, I'm sure you're thinking, what could I possibly learn from a Daytona 24-hour winner? Oh, wait. A lot. Racers 360's professional race-winning coaches have the skills to teach you where you can improve your driving and put it into action on the track. They are offering a 7-day free trial of their driver's lounge where you can get track breakdowns, coaching tips, and access to recorded webinars. Just use the link in the description of the show and sign up. Welcome back to 10 Cents Podcast. I'm your host, Robert, with Adam. And we made it here safe and sound, even though you made it very difficult.
I tried not to make it here. I tried real hard.
Well, you tried hard, but
I got lost, Robbie.
it's the second time you've been lost.
You have a wildlife problem out here.
It's not a problem.
I almost hit a deer, a raccoon, and a possum.
Don't hit the possums. They're good.
I didn't hit any of them.
I appreciate
But I almost
that.
put it in the ditch trying not to.
I like my wildlife.
I don't disagree with that statement.
There was a sweet-ass owl just sitting on
that
my
would be
porch.
sick.
This is big, I bet he's like a solid foot tall barred owl just sitting on my porch. Took a picture
that's
of him.
awesome.
Took a picture of him and posted it on my Instagram.
That's so rad.
And I was doing doing dishes and stuff and putting everything in the dishwasher. And he's just sitting right out in front of my window,
Oh, man.
watching me watch him. And then after a while, he got bored of watching me.
Yeah.
And then he went to a different tree and took out some mice, I think.
Perfect.
It's my favorite creature.
Well, yeah, 'cause the mice are the part of the wildlife you're not so into.
No, the mice and the snakes, not my favorite. The
Snakes
owl,
are okay.
the owl, my favorite.
Snakes have not entered the house.
That I'm aware of.
They don't enter the domicile.
No.
The mice, on the other hand,
They find a way in.
yeah,
Even when you fill the holes, they find a way back in.
right. No, I don't disagree with your love for the wildlife, but they need to stay off the roads at night.
No, you just need to be a defensive driver and be aware.
Yeah, but being a defensive driver on ice is hard.
It is really icy out and
Super icy.
bad right now.
And I can't get up the hill coming to your house.
It has been 3 weeks since I've gotten mail delivered and trash to pick it up.
I made it 3/4 of the way up the hill and had to back down.
That's twice this week.
Yep. At least this time I had brakes, so I didn't ditch it.
Yeah,
which we will talk
we'll
about,
talk about
shortly.
I appreciate that you were able to make it here.
It took me 3 different tries to find the route.
You got GPS. You could have got here.
That's what I ended up doing. Problem was I don't remember your address.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to drive down the road and not die
Yeah.
on the ice with my shitty tires.
Yeah.
And, cruising around on my GPS and, there it is, drop a pin, and then navigate to it. That was what I ended up having.
Booney had
do.
to ask for it last week, too. I was like, dude, you've been here.
It's hard in the dark.
It's not easy in the dark. But it is only two turns.
You say that.
3 turns if you count coming off of the highway.
I do.
3 turns.
But
Take a left, you take a right, you take a left.
there's
I understand there's a hill and there's some
it's
ice.
frustrating, Robbie.
But
There's a street sign where it doesn't need to be
that's
down there.
I'm convinced that's a private driveway with a
It
street
is a
sign
private
on it,
driveway with a street sign.
which is dumb.
It's bullshit because I want to turn there every time.
I understand.
It's hard to get here, Robbie.
It's not that bad.
which I know is mildly by design.
It keeps the riffraff out.
It was part of the appeal.
It's still part of the appeal.
But man, Robbie,
But it's kind of hard to explain, like, I don't want to go to work today. I was like, it's icy.
Right.
And my boss lives right up the road. He's like, it's not that icy.
why don't you use the lighthouse
For what?
to beacon me here?
It's the light is on, man.
Well, it isn't bright enough for me to be able to use it as a beacon.
Oh, yeah, no. You're also not a ship,
I mean, kinda.
I guess. But yeah, you're also driving from over there where the light doesn't shine.
But when I was coming from the other way, because I had to abandon my attempt up the hill, I could have used it.
Yeah, so there's two ways to get to my house. You could take the fast way, which is just come off the interstate, you take the first left, drive a couple miles down gravel, go up a tall hill, and then take a right, and then go up another hill and take a left.
And that hill,
And both hills
a real
are,
son of a bitch.
are completely ice covered. And last year, Jess made it in the ditch, I think 3 times, two or three times, because she had summer tires. This
Yeah.
year, she had Blizzaks. Not an issue.
Yeah.
Obviously.
yeah.
Because she thought she needed a 4-wheel drive Jeep.
Nah, man.
And I talked her out of that. We even test drove Jeeps.
I know you were like ready to buy a Jeep.
The Grand Cherokee is a very nice riding vehicle. The Wrangler's fun to drive. Not worth the price, but it's very fun.
I'm sure it is.
But not a great everyday vehicle. But I was like, how about we just get wheels and tires? I can get you used wheels for $100. I can get you Blizzaks for cheap.
Whatever.
Because I got them off, or where did I get them? Best used tires or whatever. So I got them for like $300.
Right.
Basically brand new tires.
Right.
And they're great.
Yeah.
And she's not even. We take that
Over the Avalanche?
over the Avalanche because our Avalanche has all seasons.
Right.
But it has 4-wheel drives
Right.
and like a foot of clearance. So
But
it's.
four-wheel drive does not matter.
Nope.
It doesn't.
Nope. I proved that to her because we had the first big snow and she goes, we'll take the Avalanche. No, we're taking the Edge. I have a point to prove.
Yeah.
And then I got halfway up the hill and stopped.
Oh,
She
Robbie.
did not find that funny
Oh, Robbie.
at all. And then we, crawled
Drove
up the
right up.
Yeah, made up the hill.
Yeah.
She doesn't find it funny at all.
I got these stupid big knobby tires on there.
But you couldn't make it
and
up
they
the hill.
suck.
Plus
They're the
you're,
worst.
you're stuck in 2-wheel drive right now,
Yes.
which is
Because I don't have a drive shaft to my front diff.
and that sucks. So that would help a lot.
Yeah.
Because you get halfway up, your tires slip, and then you go halfway into the ditch.
Oh, it's so bad, Robbie. Should we talk about that?
Do you want to jump into it?
Yeah, let's
All
jump
right, hold
into
on.
that.
We could also talk about.
Oh, we do need to talk about a few other things, don't we?
We have a new website.
Sort of.
We are available on.
We are
we have
teaming up.
We have hijacktracktune.com.
Yeah, absolutely. So our website expired,
and it was very expensive.
and it's more money than it should be, and certainly not the value that we get out of it
Right.
as a small podcast that doesn't really get a ton of web traffic.
No, a few people listen through
We
that,
had we had like 2,000 unique visitors last year.
but then you compare that to like YouTube, Facebook, and it's
Right.
not even close.
Right. So, Robbie and I were kind of trying to figure out, well, like, do we want to just abandon? We didn't really want to not have a website. We didn't know what to do. We didn't want to spend the money. So we're kind of back and forth. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Those silly slip angle guys,
Those silly geese have a website.
they've got their track tuned website.
Yeah.
And Adam has many times talked to me about how he wishes there was more regular content on there.
We have regular content.
And they are paying for it anyway. So I came up with the thought of like, well, maybe we should approach them and see if we could put our podcast show notes on their website just like they do, and we'll split the cost of the website.
Everybody wins.
Everybody wins. And they were quite receptive to it.
Yeah.
So tracktune.com is now also the home of 1010's podcast.
So we are officially in bed with Slip Angle Podcast.
They can't get rid of us now.
Ha
We're like a bad itch.
Oh, yeah.
just
We're the
won't-
gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, absolutely.
Like a herpy.
So for now, I hope to get all of the back catalog of show notes up there over time
That'll take
as
some
my free time allows, which basically doesn't exist. So
Is there a way to do that without Putting it to the front of the page.
Yes, because you can when you post it, the blog post,
Yep.
you can backdate it.
Oh,
and it will
perfect.
put it where it belongs in the feed.
Yes, back in 2016 where it belongs.
Yeah, so it's no big deal. But yeah, they do things differently. The way that they organize their website is different than the way we did it.
Yep.
I actually do, now that I've taken some time and Abe has walked me through it, it is better.
I'm not surprised at all.
It's really nice. They have a very nice flow to the way that things are created on their site.
Perfect.
So I'm pretty excited about it. It's
Yeah.
going to be fun. It's going to be cool. I hope that that maybe we can push more people to do more things with TrackTuned, because I think it's a cool little place to be.
Yeah, it's an awesome
There's
website.
a lot of old articles
Yeah, tech articles.
that are fun, that are cool.
I've used the tech article about harness bars quite a bit this year. When
Dude, I
explaining,
direct that to people. I direct people that all the time.
when explaining the reason why harnesses without a roll bar are unsafe, and then I go to TrackTuned, and then I send them that link. Don't be a dummy. Get a roll bar.
Apparently, somebody years ago posted some sort of tire comparison thingamabob on there,
Okay.
like a tire testing comparo.
Yeah. Those are always important.
And Abe's not exactly sure how, but somehow he gets like 1,000 hits a month.
Yeah, I think
Still.
anytime you're looking at buying new tires, you cross shop, you look at reviews, even if they're not even relevant. Like if you go on Tire Rack, you always look at the comments, you see what they're rated at. Even if it's an R7, you know what it does. You still read the comments.
I would guess that somehow through some SEO thing that ends up on the top of
A lot of
some
lists.
keyword Google search for tire testing
Yeah, I'd imagine.
with whatever brand is in that tire test.
And if it's relevant and good,
Yeah.
then it makes perfect sense why it's at the top of the list.
Yep. So it certainly gets more traffic than we did by ourselves, and hopefully we bring them a little bit of traffic as well, and that it's all good for everybody.
Yeah, everybody wins.
So I haven't quite figured out how yet, but somehow we're going to link the store through there as well. So
Until then, you could just search
yeah,
or shout it, or not shout it. And it is Store Envy /
I think if you just
10
if you put in 1010's podcast store, I think it'll still take you there. So in the Googs, but there we go. Tracktuned.com. Does that mean we're a 1010's podcast brought to you by Tracktune.com?
No.
Because there's Slip Angle brought to you by Tracktune.com.
No. We're paying to be there,
I mean, so are they.
but it's their thing.
Actually, I think that they're Slip Angle brought to you by Moto IQ now.
No, that's gone.
Is that gone?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't keep track.
You listen every week. I listen.
Yeah, so?
Doesn't mean I know anything. Anyways. TrackTune, Slip Angle. We're buddies. Free hugs for everybody.
Except you, Robbie.
I don't get any hugs?
You haven't yet.
That son of a bitch.
So
That's true. But now he has to because we're on the same
he
website.
doesn't have to do anything. It's a free country, Robbie.
I'm freely going to take that.
Snuggle, struggle.
I'm gonna take that hug.
Absolutely.
Now, when I see him, I'm going to be wearing this shirt where it says free hugs. And everyone's going to be giving me hugs at Grid Life.
Okay.
And Adam's like, I want some of that. And I'm going to take some of that. He's going to get that hug.
And then, no, you should, right before that, you should switch to the People Ain't No Good shirt and tell them to screw off.
Oh, here, I got you this gift. Middle finger.
Bam.
I could never do that to him. He's my buddy.
Yeah. It'd still be kind of funny, though.
It would be.
So. All right, Robbie, let's make fun of me.
Well, I already kind of made fun of you because you couldn't make it up the hill with your car.
Yeah. So
After standing on your soapbox telling everybody that they don't need pickups and I'm an idiot for owning a pickup.
No. You don't need four-wheel drive if you buy decent tires instead. It's not worth paying the extra money for four-wheel drive for a vast majority of the people that think they need it.
I will not disagree with any of that.
I have shitty tires, and four-wheel drive wouldn't fucking change that.
I have not great tires, but four-wheel drive in a pickup, and that does help.
Yeah.
But it does not replace winter tires.
No.
And I will never argue that it does.
If you had winter tires on there, if you had real snow tires on there, you would never use your 4-wheel drive.
Wouldn't need to.
No.
Or unless they never plowed and it was like a foot of snow.
Right.
And I was really struggling.
Okay.
But
fine.
at that point, even then, I have no reason to leave.
So I didn't say like, oh, 4-wheel drive's totally useless. That's not
No,
that's not what it is.
But I like to tease you.
An overwhelming majority of people who think they need it don't.
You mean to tell me that I don't need a 2500 pickup with 4-inch lift?
The lift probably is hurting you, if anything.
I won't disagree. Mine's tall enough. It's so tall.
I watched earlier this week. I watched a brand new Ford F-350 dually with the broiest of bro rims on it and low profile tires all the way around it. And I was driving through this little bitty town, and he backs out of his parking spot a little far enough in front of me that he was perfectly reasonable to do so. But by the time he had gotten going forward, I had gotten most of the way up to him.
Right.
And he went like a half a block down the street, and then he tried to turn left, and he didn't brake for that turn at all, and right into the curb.
Whoops.
Just slammed that thing into the curb. I mean, it got like part of the turn, and then it was like, I don't feel like turning anymore.
So like the just the driver or the passenger front just slammed right into the curb.
Wham!
Oof, John.
I just kept on driving.
Sorry, bro.
Not my problem. You and your stupid spiked lug nuts.
Oh no, not the. I saw one of those on the interstate,
Bro.
He looked super dangerous. He looked like he was about to just shimmy his way into the ditch.
Right. But he's probably still doing 75.
Oh yeah, he was the fastest guy on the road that day.
Yeah.
for sure.
He shouldn't be.
No.
Because tires suck.
Yeah, he's got like summer tires.
Because those low profiles are summer tires.
Yeah, they're terrible.
They're terrible. So, it's an earthquake, Robbie. Don't worry
Yeah,
about
there's
it.
something going on up there.
Chances are that the mic's not picking those noises up anyway.
Well, yeah, we just sound like lunatics. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
The noises.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Yeah, so
that's my soapbox.
all right, I'll so Saturday, Adam was like, "Hey, you want to hang out and be friends?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Well, so a little bit of backstory to this.
Yeah.
Last week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was like bitter, negative, below zero
Shitty
cold.
weather.
Like super duper cold. Well into the negative temperatures.
Yep.
And then there was wind chill on top of it. So it was a real, shit show. And ever since I fixed the transmission on this thing, on the Blazer,
Yep.
I haven't had the greatest of brakes because right before the transmission went out, I blew a brake line, and just to get me through a little while, I just like capped it, and then before I ever the
do you
brake
mean? What do
line
you-
blew.
Like your rear brakes,
A line to the line that goes from the front to the back,
the intermittent line.
right, blew.
Okay, like
It rusted through and
Yeah,
exploded.
Yeah.
Right above the wheel well. Like fucking 6 inches from the banjo bolt
Great.
that splits it out to both wheels
Yes.
on the axle. And so what I ended up doing was I bought a cap so the thread pitch going into the ABS module is weird,
Yeah.
right? So you can't just like buy, or the brake distro block post ABS.
Okay.
It's weird, and I couldn't find just like a dead end
like a plug.
to put in there just to like get me home
Yes,
and
yeah,
get
so
me
you
to a
have
place where I
fronts,
could
no-
get
no
it
problem.
inside and fix it, because it was of course the dead of winter when this happened
Always.
2 years ago. And so what I ended up doing was I bought a coupling, and like 4 or 5 inches out of the brake distribution block, I cut the brake line, right?
Okay.
And then I bought a coupling and a plug for the other side of the coupling and just threaded that whole thing together and left it in there.
Okay.
And then my original plan was to fix the brake line, take the plug out of the coupling, put the factory brake line back in there, tighten the coupling up, move on with life.
Yeah.
What I ended up doing was replacing it from front to back, because that ended up just being easier.
Right.
So when we replaced the transmission, we also fixed the brake line
Okay.
at the same time.
Right.
The rear calipers on that thing, the brake bleeders, were completely fucking rusted
Shut.
shut. And we couldn't even... liberal amounts of PB Blaster over multiple days during the transmission swap. We were not able to break them loose. And so what I ended up doing was kind of half-ass bleeding it from the banjo bolt and calling it a day. And they were never great, but they were fine.
Okay.
Fast forward to last week, and we had this nasty cold snap, and I hop in my Blazer to go to work one day, I think Tuesday of last week, and hop in my Blazer, put my foot to the floor, put it in reverse, and it starts going backwards.
No brakes.
No brakes. Like, it was so, I had so little brake that when I pushed my foot, or when I put the pedal, it would go straight to the floor, and I would have to catch it with my toe to pull it back up again.
Like an unbled clutch.
Like a broken clutch, because it had so little pressure that it wouldn't even return itself.
Not good.
And if I left it in drive after I had come to a complete stop, it didn't even have enough pressure to hold the truck in place. I had to put it in neutral or it would creep. And I drove it to work that way once.
Okay.
And then I told my boss, I will die or I will kill somebody if I continue driving this, but it's far too cold for me to deal with it right now. I will figure out what to do with it this weekend.
Yes.
And so I'm just going to use my work truck to traverse home and back again for the rest of the week. And he's like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. He's known me for years, like much longer than I've worked there. He knew what he was getting into when he hired me. It's fine. So I asked you
what I was doing,
what you were doing this weekend. You graciously agreed to allow me to hop into your shop and
to which I said, I'm never too busy for a friend.
I appreciate that.
And I was very accommodating.
You were super duper accommodating.
You showed up on Saturday. The shop was cleared out.
It was.
The car I had been working on.
Somebody else's brake problem.
Someone else's brakes. So that was sitting in the driveway, leaving room for you to get in. There was a nice cozy fire that had been had been burning all morning.
I'm sure.
So it was nice and warm in the shop. So you pulled in and
I wasn't able to pull.
That's right. You struggled to get here.
So when I turned the corner to come up the hill, mind you, still without any brakes, I got about partway up the hill and I lost all momentum.
So the funny thing is,
I started rolling back and I couldn't stop it.
Yeah. So you get up the tall hill.
I had speed for that
because you have momentum to get up that hill, and then you crest it, go down, and then you brake, take a right, and then go straight up, directly up a hill.
Right,
and that's where it gets you. The night before, a new-ish Camaro was stuck at the bottom there,
right,
because they had tried to do the exact same thing.
But it had Texas plates.
So
I'm sure it had great tires on it.
Doesn't surprise me they got stuck. It surprises me they even got as far as they did.
Yeah, so I had to call Robbie, and he had to come rescue me.
Yep, so Mr. I don't need a pickup drove halfway up, got stuck, slid back ass first into the ditch, called the guy with the pickup, help me. So which I said, of course, that's why I have a pickup to help people.
Damn it.
So then I come to his rescue like a knight in shining armor.
Absolutely.
In a chrome armor, which is my Avalanche. And then
there's some chrome on it.
Not really. So then I go down the hill, come back up, pull in front of you. We get the tow hooks out, or the tow strap out. We hook you up, and we drag you up the hill.
So
no problem.
What you don't know is that you were going way faster than I was comfortable with, given my braking situation.
Oh yeah, we weren't going that fast.
So you literally were dragging me because I put that shit in neutral. Because I was like, and I rode what little brake I had most of the way up the hill. Because I knew when you were going to come to a stop, you were going to stop faster than I could, and this shit was going to be over.
I was keeping an eye on you.
And so I had my left foot on my e-brake.
That would explain why I slid around as much as I did.
I had my left foot on my e-brake, and I dropped that shit in neutral, and because I was not going to crash into the back of the Avalanche.
Well, I drug you up the hill, and then we went
literally drug me.
And then we went to like the flat area, and I kept dragging you, and then I kind of creeped to a stop. So I kind of had it planned out.
You did slow down,
and I would have
enough for me to be able to.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on you. If you would have got close, I would have we would have done the tightrope thing until we came to a safe stop.
Yeah.
Or until I just drug you into another ditch. It's whatever.
I was convinced that was going to end poorly.
No. And then
I was terrified.
So then I unhooked, came to my house. You made it to the driveway. You slipped and slided all the way up the driveway.
Again, up a fucking hill.
It's surprisingly
they talk about how flat Iowa is.
not my driveway.
Except for where Robbie moved.
So then, did you get? Yeah, you immediately got stuck in the driveway.
Yeah, because your
You're
snow
trying-
removal guy sucks.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. So then you had to go around the pile.
Yep.
And then immediately got stuck, so we had to dig you out. So we had to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
That went better
Then-
than I thought it was going
And
to.
then you made it into the garage, which was
Finally
nice
made
and
it
cozy,
in the
warm.
garage.
Smelled like a nice open fire.
So at first we thought it was master cylinder had failed. Maybe did a little
Your
troubleshooting. on
symptoms didn't make sense.
that. No, they didn't.
So you had brakes, no leaks,
Right. I had fluid in the reservoir.
fluid in the reservoir that never changed levels.
No leaks.
So-
There's no obvious issues.
So you would hit your brakes, and you would hear the whoosh.
It was swishing.
So you could hear some fluid moving.
Right. But it
Kind
wasn't
of like
going anywhere.
what that car I was working on. That's what it was doing. I would push the brake pedal, whoosh, but you could see it squirt onto the floor because it had a hole.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Same exact noise, which is
Right.
very confusing because yours wasn't leaking.
Right.
So then we were like, well, did your master cylinder go? I've never had this issue. I've never seen it.
Right.
I've never seen a master cylinder fail
Right.
like this. But it was the only thing that made sense. So we take the master cylinder off the booster, tip it forward, do a sanity check to see if there's anything leaking.
Make sure it was dry behind there.
Yep, make sure that just there was nothing wrong with your booster, like just obvious things. And then we put the master cylinder back into its original orientation, and the fluid's gone.
Half of it.
Yeah, half the fluid's just gone.
But it didn't fall on the floor.
No leaks. It just found a new home in the lines,
Yeah.
which made no sense to me.
Still really doesn't. It still really doesn't.
So
But that reservoir was nasty.
there was some crud in there.
There's some gross stuff in
Yep.
there.
So I almost wonder if it was just like
Blocked.
blocked from letting the fluid go
And
anywhere.
then when we moved it, it broke that free.
Yep.
Or my dad suggested that maybe there was enough water in there that something froze because it was so fucking cold.
Oh, that would make
Because
sense too.
the first time that I went from, I didn't have great brakes, but I had brakes. It never changed from the time I fixed the transmission and half-ass fixed the brake lines to the day where I had none.
Which is we're talking months to
Months. And then my dad suggested, well, maybe there was some water in there and there was some ice that was blocking fluid from traveling.
okay, which would make sense.
And then when we tipped it, that popped that ice loose, or it spent enough time in your shop / it wasn't that cold outside
Yep.
that it had.
That part.
And
melted.
then when we moved it around, that was enough to push that out of the way and be done with it.
Okay. So then we go and like, well, let's do the $7 fix.
Right.
Let's hook everything back up, bleed the whole system, get
See
fresh
what
everywhere.
happens.
Fresh everywhere. So we effectively got one bleeder out.
We got 2 bleeders out.
Well, we started by only getting one.
We just
I got one bleeder out,
yeah.
and then we bled that first. So we were only able to get the driver front
Broke loose.
loose.
To start with.
We bled that till we had no more air, and there was air.
Oh, so much air.
Make no mistake, there was
So
air.
much air.
And it was black as the night.
Oh god, it was so bad.
So we got that one bled, and we're like, well, we gotta get the other ones. And then we got aggressive because we're like, well, we're gonna. You got to the point where you were like, I'm willing to replace all the calipers because I'm convinced.
I was ready to just go buy 4 new calipers.
Yep. So I had spare bleeders, so we replaced the bleeder on the one
Yep.
that we could get out,
Yep.
and then we PB blasted everything, and then I sheared off 2 of them.
I sheared off one.
I only sheared off one.
You sheared one, I sheared the other.
So both rears, no bleeders anymore.
Yep.
Totally closed,
Yep.
but no bleeders.
Nope.
And then you were calling around to part stores. I'm like, well, I'm just going to figure out this other front
Yeah,
one.
let's just break that one
Fuck
too.
it. Yeah.
It's either going to come loose or it's going to break at this point.
And I got it loose,
Yep.
and I replaced it.
Yep.
So now you have 2 brand new bleeders,
In the front.
2 bled fronts.
And 2 brand new calipers in the back.
Yep, we had to go get calipers.
So when we started, you could tell by looking at the rotors on the back that those rear brakes have basically not worked in a long time.
They have not been touched in a long time.
No, because those rotors were completely rusted.
Yep.
So I think, I think that it was like I don't understand.
It's still really strange to me how it went down.
It's
'cause,
rear brakes, so maybe you just don't notice, I guess. But
Yeah, your bias would be towards the front.
yeah,
But, I mean, let's assume like a 70% front bias.
at least.
Right. So,
But I don't know, man.
On day-to-day driving, you're not going to tell.
We pumped a ton of air out of it.
Yep. Yeah, we basically had a complete airline all the way to the back. So
Yeah.
I just told you to pump it for a while with the bleeder open.
Yeah.
There's no point in me even opening and closing it.
Right.
Just leave it open.
Right.
Fill it. We
Yeah.
went through about
So
a bottle of fluid.
We pumped probably more than we needed to out just to try and get some of that gunk out of the system too.
Yeah, we kept bleeding until it was clear.
Right.
So I got all your old fluid out. We got all the air out. And now you have the firmest pedal you ever had.
Yeah, works great.
Veerhout Garage.
Like I told my dad, brakes are very confidence inspiring. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Would recommend.
Absolutely.
And your dad was very happy that I was there to effectively break things and make you fix it.
I was going to do that anyway. I was at the point where I was like, well,
Yeah.
let's just either they're going to come loose or they're going to break. They were $60 a side. It was money I didn't want to spend.
No, but
it
they're
wasn't
really
the
not
worst.
that expensive.
It wasn't the worst thing in the world. Turns out they need pads, so that I'm going to have to do that here shortly too.
Yep. Those weren't terrible though.
But it is what it is. So the Blazer continues to creep ahead.
Well, it's funny because I put the passenger side wheels on, and then you were messing with the vacuum line that had completely corroded away and getting that fixed. And then, of course, I'm harassing you, taking pictures for the Instagram, and totally forgot to torque the passenger side. So you take off, go do your thing, going home, and you're not even 5 minutes down the road, and I'm putting tools away, and I pick up the torque wrench, and I go, fuck. I only torqued the driver's side.
Well, thankfully, I hadn't made it down the hill yet. So I was able to turn in that driveway at the very top of the hill.
Yep.
And get turned around and not have to, make you come get me again.
That'd be hilarious.
Or, drive all the way around the section like I did tonight.
Yeah, because I had to show you the back way to get here.
Yeah.
Because in case you had to come back, which of course you did today, you had to go back around, which adds another 10 minutes to your
I
trip.
was cocky today. I was like, I'm going to make it up that fucking hill.
But it snowed this morning,
I did make it up that fucking hill.
and we did not have anyone do anything to the roads today. So
Nope.
it was whatever the sun, which didn't come out.
Not really, no.
So no, we had a nice little layer of ice now.
Yeah. Ugh.
But you didn't crash and die because I remembered to torque your lug nuts after a mile or two of driving. But
It's fine, Robbie. I checked them when I got home.
yeah, perfect.
You always do.
Yeah,
A few miles on and check them again.
Yeah, 50 miles.
When we get our trucks back from the tire shop at work,
Yep.
the receipt always says torque your lug nuts after 1 hour of use or 100 miles, and I don't really understand why it says that
1 hour use or 100 miles,
because 1 hour of use is less than 100 miles,
almost guaranteed.
right? Especially in our giant fucking trucks,
Yeah.
we can't do 100 miles an hour in those. So that seems like an unnecessary
I
statement.
suppose whatever sooner.
Right. Shouldn't it be 50 miles or 1 hour?
That would make more sense, yes.
I always thought that was dumb. That's what it says.
All right, whatever. I guess
So I just went around the world with the breaker bar that comes with it and just made sure they were tight. So.
yeah. I don't know. I've never really had an issue once they're torqued.
Yeah.
I've never had them back off,
Paranoid.
but I always check them. I'm
Yeah.
the same way.
Yeah. Well, I told this story a long time ago, but I had a wheel fall off on a truck. So
I remember that.
now I'm extra paranoid about it.
That wasn't because the lug nuts were not torqued right. It was because they impacted them on and broke the fucking studs.
I don't know.
That's what happened to my sister.
I can't
'Cause
answer that question.
She was driving to my parents' house, and a wheel just sheared off. And it was, and obviously I wasn't there, but based on the pictures and the descriptions, like the only thing that would make sense is that they impacted them on, stretched them, and eventually to the point where they just sheared.
But there were still studs left with no lug nuts on them.
Oh yeah, there was.
And
Oh yeah.
a few months ago, like
Yep.
a month or two ago, another one of my coworkers nearly had the same thing happen with his bucket truck. He
Okay.
thankfully caught it,
That's right. Yours did.
but there was 2 lug nuts left, and they were all but falling off at that point. And the other
Okay.
one, some of the studs were broken, and some of them were still there.
Huh.
So I just think they don't get them tight.
And I suppose it's going to take a little bit extra oomph for a bucket truck.
Yeah, I don't know what the torque rating is on those.
I couldn't tell you.
all of it.
Yeah. Like 240 or something.
It's like
crazy.
with those giant single center lug.
Hell yeah.
That's like 500 foot-pounds or something.
Race
Have
car.
you seen those
Yeah.
like 10-foot-long breaker bars they used to tighten those up?
Yep.
Fucking wild.
That's awesome.
So that's all I really got about
Yeah.
the fucking pile of shit I drive every day.
And we fixed it. You
We
came
did
to-
fix it.
Me helping friends fixing cars.
I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it, because had you not have done that for me, my dad would have had to probably bring truck and trailer down here
Ooh, don't do that.
and then tow it home to Sioux City so I could have fixed it and drove it home again, because I was definitely not going to be fixing that shit outside,
No, that would have been a real
It's too
nightmare.
cold.
That would have sucked.
and I can't afford to pay somebody.
No.
Plus, it's stupid. Brakes are like, they charge so much money for brake jobs.
It's not difficult work.
No.
If it's not shitty outside, you can knock it right out.
Yeah.
The only issue I had, if you would have had a hole in your line, I don't have the tools to. I don't have a tube bender, and I don't have a line splicer
I have a
or
flaring
a
tool.
flaring tool.
I have a flaring tool. It's in the back of the Blazer. 100%.
Huh.
Swear to God. Do you need it?
Not anymore because that car's gone. But yeah, I needed it. That's why that car was still here.
My dad gave me one, like, when I first started driving that Blazer,
Yeah.
and I just have never taken it out of the back of the truck. It's just floating around back. It's been back there for like 2 years.
I could have fixed that car that I pulled out of the garage because that's what we were waiting on was all the stuff to
Oh yeah, yeah. I got a
fix
flaring
those
kit.
lines. All right. Well, not my problem anymore. It's gone.
All right. Well, next time you need a flaring kit,
All right,
when you're
good.
doing race car things,
Yeah. Good
hit
to
me
know.
up.
Good to know.
Absolutely. I just have random stupid shit,
Yeah, I appreciate that.
like tons of random stupid
yeah,
shit.
like specialty tools.
Yeah.
Plus, like all those Audi tools you had to buy.
I don't have most of those.
You had a couple.
I kept 2. I kept the 32 millimeter socket you need to take the hub bolt off.
240s at the same one.
So I had to go out and buy that one
And
socket.
they only sell those in impact, so they're
Yep.
nice and expensive.
Yep.
Yeah, I got that one too.
And then I have the Halodex filter wrench,
That's expensive.
which I bought and never used.
No.
Yeah.
Doesn't that also require a specialty timing wrench tool to change your timing belts? Or
It's all normal tools.
okay, I could have swore that had a really goofy tool you had to get.
Nope, it's all normal tools.
Okay, maybe I'm just thinking of the oil filter thing.
It's to change the filter on the rear diff for the Halodex system,
Huh.
for the all-wheel drive system.
Okay.
So, because I bought all the things to do that,
And then sold the car.
and then I sold the car. And I gave him the new filter and the bottle of fluid, but I just kept the wrench.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You just never know when you might need that, Robbie. I might get a wild hair. I might have to buy another TT.
I dare you.
I still am not quite there.
You and I will hang out a lot more in my shop if that's the case.
I'm not there yet. Well, no. So that's one of the stipulations of me buying something like that again would be actually having a garage I can use.
Yes.
Which I have a garage I
You
can
do.
use.
You do.
It's just a bunch of cars in front of it that don't run, and I can't get to it.
Damn it.
So that is priority number 1 come springtime.
How many's sitting in that garage, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So those things have to come away. Go
Junk
away.
out of here.
Yeah. So I'm literally gonna have like one of those giant roll off dumpsters dropped off in front of my house, and I'm
Just
fucking
fill it.
going to town. The house, the yard, the garage. all of it.
We're starting fresh.
Fuck yeah. Minimalist life, Robbie.
I don't live that life at all.
I have too much shit.
I feel poor every once in a while, so I'm like, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this, and I throw it on eBay. So
Yeah.
I sell things all the
The thing is,
time.
nothing I have is worth anything.
I think that until I sell it on eBay.
No, I don't have anything
And then
worth anything.
$15 here, $15 there adds up. And then pretty
don't
soon
have-
I have breaks.
I don't have time to go ship that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Katie sent me a picture today of I bought this Nissan like BRE liveried
Yes.
Hot Wheels
Oh,
truck
okay.
that has a 240
Yeah.
a 240Z that's BRE liveried
Yep.
that goes in it. I bought this thing for James
Yeah, give him into that Nissan life.
in like November.
Okay.
I bought it for James
Yeah, yeah.
Chartres
Oh, duh.
for his.
Sorry, my nephew's name is James.
Oh,
So
okay.
as
No,
soon
no,
as
no,
you
no.
said that, I pictured James. Not,
No.
not.
So I bought this thing and I took a picture of it. And I sent it to him. I'm like, oh, dude, have you seen this? He's like, no. Where'd you get that? And I was like, I got you, bro. I'll send it to you for Christmas. It's still in my house.
It's February.
It's in my house, Robbie. Katie sent me a picture. She's like, were you supposed to send this to? Wasn't you going to give this to somebody for Christmas? I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. So I'm going to send that to him for Valentine's Day. I don't.
You could have sent it to Australian Day or whatever it's called.
So it's. I'm hoping that I'll remember to put it in the mail on Saturday.
Nice.
I have to go to the post office and get a flat rate box or something to ship it in.
Yeah, probably.
So
The
sorry,
the ladies
James.
at the post office know me by name.
that's because you have to go in there to get your mail, Robbie.
No. That's a different one. Those hours suck. I can only go there.
Oh, that's right. You're
Because I'm such a small town, it's just a hub. So they're only there Monday through Friday from 8 to 12, or on Saturday from 8 to 9:30.
so good.
8 to 9:30 on Saturday.
That's breakfast making time, Robbie.
Yeah. I barely had my coffee.
That's when you
So I
get
gotta
up
just
and make some bacon.
I get up, start the coffee, go get my mail, and then come back and have coffee. That's how I start my Saturdays
When
now.
I make bacon and eggs.
So as soon as the the trash and the mail can be delivered, or trash picked up and the mail delivered, then we're back in business. It's worth it though, because I'm out here in the country with all the wildlife and none of the humans.
Is it though, Robbie?
Yes, people ain't no good.
I don't know, man. I'm not totally sold on. Like, I want to live in the country, but I don't know that I want to live in this much of the country.
It's worth it.
I want to be on a paved road.
That is a deal breaker for a lot of people.
It's
That's why this house sat for sale for as long as it did.
it's really expensive to live on a paved road in Iowa.
Yeah.
Like,
Plus, my car's filthy all the time,
yeah,
but it's worth it.
it's very expensive not to live on a paved road too.
The worst part is, I drive into West Des Moines every day,
yeah,
and those cops love to give tickets for having your license plate covered in dirt. So I have to go out there with a paper towel and just wipe it off.
yeah,
It's gonna rain this week. I'm not washing this.
yeah, yeah. My Blazer's dirty from driving up here that one time
Oh man,
on Saturday.
and there's no point in washing it because it's gonna be filthy because it's gonna freeze thaw, and
Yeah.
that road just turns to muck.
Yeah.
It's that road's especially bad. The population or the road usage in the last 5-7 years, it's gone up 700%.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me at all.
So
There's a ton of houses on that road now.
Yep. So it's a road that's on the first of the list that needs to be paved,
Yeah,
but it's also the dividing line between two counties.
that's all right.
So who pays for it? Nobody can decide.
It's a county. It's not a blacktop,
It should be, but yeah.
but it's a county highway. It's R35.
Uh-huh.
You live on R35. I live on S14.
Man, it's Nissan's up in here.
I guess. So we still got a ton of stuff to talk about, Robbie. Let's move
We
on.
barely even started. Actually, we've been into the show a little bit.
Yeah, let's move on. We might even have to knock one of these things out because this is getting long.
We can marathon another show.
We did the longest show we've ever done last week.
We can do another long show without Booney. We could beat his record, so we can just throw it in his face.
Let's calm down on those things.
Okay, fine.
So,
What do you want to talk about?
should we talk about gas or should we talk about autocrossing?
We can talk about having gas.
Should we talk about gas?
Oh, you mean like fuel for the vehicle?
Like farting. Like
Oh,
we're
yeah,
gonna take
yeah.
our microphones and stick them between our legs and fart.
Yeah.
Guess who's gas?
Guess who's gas? Yeah,
Absolutely.
Like that show.
Like the Woody Show.
Yeah.
God, I miss it already, Robbie.
Yeah, they took it away from us and
Yeah,
didn't tell
that's
us.
fucking sports talker. You don't want to talk
Listen,
about it.
yeah.
Don't want to talk about it.
Tell me about your gas.
So a couple weeks ago, we talked about
It's been a while.
it. It has been a while. We talked about how much of a price, or how much of the price of a gallon of gas is actually taxes, and how much of it is the price of gas. Right?
Okay.
And so, and I said at that time, oh well, maybe I should like talk about this, right?
We're going to learn some stuff.
We're gonna learn some stuff. So, what I found was that obviously every state has its own number, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, Iowa's is 30.7 cents per gallon.
It's really not that bad.
Okay, 30.7, which is really annoying.
0.7? Or like-
0.7. 30 decimal point 7.
so it's 30.7 cents.
Right.
God damn it.
Which
really
is the most government thing I can fucking think of.
That annoys me at the pumps too, because it says 243.99.
Which is actually 244.
Yeah, so they're going to round up.
Yeah,
every
that's
time.
244.
I don't know.
But
why.
that's not how
I don't-
people talk about it
I don't know.
either.
Yeah, because I bought gas for 243.
Right. That's how people look at it. So, the highest state-imposed gas tax.
Can I guess?
Sure, you're going to be wrong.
You don't know that.
Oh, you will be. I do know that. Because I was complete and totally flabbergasted.
I was going to say California, but
They are number 2.
okay. I'll take second place. The first.
Pennsylvania.
What?
Topping the list of states with the highest gas taxes, Pennsylvania. Hit that number, Robbie.
70.7.
That's not far off. 77.1.
Ah, it's like a radio station.
77.1 cents per gallon,
That's a lot.
which is wild. It's
So-
wild money.
Are their gas prices the same as ours?
I would assume that they're not
can't- they
because
can't be.
their tax is double. So
Yeah,
their
they gotta at
gas
least be 30
prices are
cents
going to
higher.
be harsher. For sure.
Jeez.
There is a federal gas tax
Is that on top of the 30 cents
on
an
top
hour?
of the 30 cents that we pay.
Okay.
It is 18.4 cents per gallon for gasoline and 24.4 cents per gallon for diesel.
Okay.
What I found interesting about that was the federal tax has not been raised since 93.
Ooh, let's not remind them that.
93.
That's insane.
And it has not it is not indexed for inflation.
In '93, it would have been like $1.30 a gallon.
73% inflation increase from 93 to 2018 without a single change in the gas tax federally.
Please, for the love of God, don't point that out to them.
But at the same time, maybe we should, because even our interstate system motherfucking sucks.
Yeah, our roads are terrible.
So bad.
And in all reality, we don't pay shit for gas
No, we don't.
compared to the rest of the world.
Right. So
We don't know what high gas prices are.
So in Iowa, that's basically 50 cents per gallon of gas that you buy is tax.
Okay. Wow.
Until you go inside to the store and pay sales tax on it too.
That's 6.
6%.
Yep.
7%.
Did I change it again?
It depends on where you are.
Oh, yeah. So
In
7.
Even within towns, it's different.
I remember
In
they
counties, it's different.
they changed it when I was working
I think
at the body
Iowa
shop.
is 6 or 7%.
Yeah, because it went up to 6 something.
Yeah. That's the long and short of it. I don't remember now what I was going to say. I guess
Because the topic that started this was that we were trying to figure out how electric cars are going to balance that out.
is that what it was? I can't
Originally,
remember.
yes, because I actually had a long conversation with somebody at lunch about it yesterday.
So apparently, and I didn't know this until after, of course, I made a prediction about it, but there are a number of states that have already enacted some level of law most of them at a larger percentage registration rate
Okay.
for electric cars.
So you just take a good chunk right off
It's
the bat and
already
call
a
it a
thing.
day.
It's already a thing,
All right.
which I don't necessarily
It's
love,
not, yeah, I'll say it's not super accurate.
but it is what it is. So, yeah, that's kind of it.
Well, you're also going to talk about gas myths.
So this is another thing. So at work, somebody had stated something to me about, and this is a nasty rumor that I've heard multiple times.
I've heard it my whole life.
Spread for whatever reason, primarily about Casey's, which everybody knows I love and adore.
Hometown boy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love your Casey's.
Yeah,
We're-
it's a
hometown
requirement.
Iowa.
This is. Are we not in Iowa? I mean,
Does Cumming count as a real town because it doesn't have a Casey's?
no.
But Norwalk does.
No,
That's a real
there's
town.
3 things that an Iowa town needs to have to be a town in Iowa: a church, a bar,
bar.
and a Casey's.
Yes. Those are it. If you don't have any of those, if you don't have
You
all
have to
three,
have all 3 of those things, then you're a town.
the trifecta is when they're all on the same block.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a real thing.
Churches and bars sometimes are the same building.
They're across the street from each other
It can
more often
absolutely
than not.
be a thing. So,
Because Hull's no longer a town.
no,
They have like 17 churches,
yeah.
no bar. So Hull, Iowa, not a town.
Sorry, Robbie.
Many churches, Casey's, no more.
I don't care about this.
Unless something's changed. They haven't had a bar there in a while.
That's rough, man. It's real rough.
Not really.
So,
It's okay to not. It's okay that they're not a town. It's fine.
yeah, Hull was never really much of a town.
Hey, it was a great town to grow up in and leave.
Right. That's a really big. As much as I love small town Iowa, I think it's very important for you not to live there or to not live in the same small town Iowa
It's great to grow up and leave.
your whole life.
Your friend is going to call you.
You can come back to it.
Your close friends are going to be calling you based on that comment.
You can come back to it, but you should leave.
Dalton has your number, right?
It's good for you to leave. Dalton left.
Doesn't he live in Sheldon still?
He's back, but he left.
Like, fair enough. He did leave. He left, and he comes in races, so he's seen the real world.
I'm not even. I don't.
Let's just poke. Let's just poke.
I'm not. It's too easy, and I love Dalton, so we're just gonna leave it alone. I make fun of Dalton enough the way it is.
That's
so.
true.
He was all mad at me about Corvette comments and all kinds of shit already. So he comes at me hard about his diesel bro life too. So it's whatever.
I like his truck. It's nice.
But anyway, the Casey's thing,
Yeah.
the gasoline thing. Somebody at work mentioned to me that they never buy gas from Casey's because it's watered down.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
That's the rumor.
I remember that
And
in high
I've-
school. I remember this. Yeah, I remember the same
this
thing.
being a thing for a long time, and then I believe it was even a listener of the podcast. I'll leave his name out of it. He knows who he is. Had mentioned, I think it was on his personal Facebook page, about how he always buys gas from QT
Because the
around here?
the gas is gooder.
because they have what they call top tier rated.
What?
So I wanted to talk a little bit about the gasoline distribution system in this company or in this country.
Yeah.
Because I know about it. I have worked on and around it in past jobs. My father works for a company that is part of that distribution system, and I know how it works. And I think a lot of people don't understand how it works.
Right.
So I want to talk a little bit about it. I did a little bit of research on this top tier rated stuff, so I can talk about that too. It's not all bullshit,
I'm sure.
but it's kind of bullshit.
Is this like Is this like Hoosier saying they're 40 treadwear, or that
No.
they're 245s?
No.
When they were like 275s.
Now,
Is that is that how this
let's
is?
talk about distribution, and then we'll go and we'll talk about top tier because
All right.
you need to understand a little bit about the distribution before the top tier stuff will make any sense.
All right, cool.
So first of all, and for the most part, gasoline, no matter where you're buying it from, comes from the same place.
yeah,
Right? The pipeline companies that are across the country that traverse all of our country, all over the place, probably all the countries, all over the world, they all come from the same place. Right? The pipeline companies that are across the country that traverse all of our country, all over the place, probably all the countries, all over the world, they all come from the same place. Right? The pipeline companies that are across the country that traverse all of our country, all over the place, probably all the countries, all over the world, they don't own the product that's inside their pipeline. They're a service provider. They
Right.
don't own what's in it. They just move it from one place to another for somebody else. So if you are Casey's or a Hy-Vee gas station or a BP or an Amoco or a QT or a Quick Star or an OnQ or a Buc-ee's or whatever you are, you buy your gasoline as a company from a broker, and then you go and pick it up from a pipeline company. So like here in Des Moines, we have a refined gasoline terminal that, that product is pumped up a lot of times around here, especially from Texas. The refineries that are down there.
Yep.
It's brought up to here, stored in large bulk tanks here, and then truckers go and pick it up. Right? And they all get it from the same place. Doesn't matter where it's going.
Right.
It all came from the same place. There are additives that are required by EPA law to be added to all fuels.
Yeah, no surprise there.
And those additives are put in the fuel so those additives are stored in tanks at the same facility. And they are mixed pre-loading of the truck, but not. So when it's transported in the pipeline, it's pure gasoline.
Right.
And when it's loaded into the truck, it's pre-mixed with whatever the EPA requirement additives are, and loaded into a truck, and then brought somewhere and delivered. And so, like Casey's in particular, they have some of their own trucks,
Yeah.
but they also use contractors that have their own trucks, and that guy might deliver to 6 or 7 different gas stations in one day that aren't even owned by the same company, because all that fuel's the same.
Yeah.
One of the things that I found that I just learned today that I found kind of interesting, ethanol cannot be transported via pipeline.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I've known that.
I know ethanol was the one that you like. The rating would be, inconsistent.
So I kind of what I learned today may to some extent explain why that rating can be so inconsistent.
Okay.
But first of all, ethanol cannot be transported in its pure form. Ethanol cannot be transported in pipelines. It's too highly corrosive.
Right.
And long-term exposure to that stuff in pipelines would eat away at it and cause lots of problems.
Yeah.
So whether you like the pipeline industry or not, and whether you think they're a bunch of morons or not, they are at least not that stupid.
So we're not
So
putting ethanol.
I am highly pipeline or pro pipeline, but that's a whole different
Yeah,
story.
that's a whole nother.
But so when I worked for my first year out of college, I worked for a pipeline contractor. And one of the things that we did at a number of different gasoline terminals across the Midwest was we set up what we called ethanol skids. And so the ethanol is brought in on a tanker, stored in a tank, and then mixed with gasoline on these ethanol skids. And what I learned today is that it's not even so say a gas station buys 1,000 gallons of 10% ethanol mixed fuel.
Yep.
That trucker goes and so those tankers are split up into separate chambers, right? So you've got like your diesel and your regular and your premium.
Yep.
And one of those is pure ethanol.
Oh, okay.
And it's not even mixed at the facility. So like if you buy 1,000 gallons of 10%, he puts 900 gallons of regular fuel in your bulk tank, underground tank at the gas station, and then throws 100 gallons of ethanol in there with it. And that's it.
Huh.
However it gets mixed is however it gets mixed.
So if you siphon off the top and it doesn't,
So I don't
it's
know,
not mixed.
That may explain a lot of, like, I guess my dad said that to his knowledge that it is possible to some guys will do it differently and they'll mix it in their truck,
Yep.
and some won't.
Okay.
Like they might say that this chamber, I'll put 90% of this chamber I'll make regular gasoline, and then the rest of the other 10% I'll make ethanol, and then I just pour it all into when I get to the gas station.
Right.
So depending on how the trucker loads it, could change the way it's pre-mixed, because if it's mixed in the truck, it has some time to slosh around and stuff like that. Whereas if it's just dumped straight into that tank, it's not going to mix as well.
No.
But that's just the nature of the beast.
Right. And it's only going to pump from one location.
I don't know how well that stuff. Like, I assume it's not like water and oil.
No, but
But I'll bet it doesn't just like mix.
Well, if you pour orange juice and water together,
Right. Like
you're
they
gonna,
go together, but they don't go together.
Yeah. If you don't stir it,
Right. So it's kind of an interesting thing, the way that system works.
Yeah, because you could go measure it at different times of the day and get different measurements for ethanol.
Right. And so, like, I know a lot of people, it's always hotly debated. You'll see it on all your local car
who's got the good
groups.
ethanol?
Like, where do I go to get the best E85 content?
Yep.
Those guys, that particular gas station might just have a truck driver who delivers his E85 in a different way than somebody else, and that's why that percentage mixture is different.
Yep.
It could be just as simple as that.
Makes sense.
So that was interesting to me. I kind of learned a little bit of that. And then, so like a lot of times, in order to prevent the truck from being, in order to prevent the tank from having problems with the corrosiveness of ethanol, you might run ethanol in this chamber, like run it pure ethanol in this chamber for like a week, and then move it to a different one in your trailer.
So it's evenly wearing
and
all the tanks.
So that, and then the gasoline will kind of wash it out. Because it's not so much that it's corrosive. The way it was explained to me when I worked on the pipeline is the reason it couldn't be transported on the pipeline is because it's not so much corrosive to the pipe as it is
as
to
a chemical reaction?
As it is to the weld between the sections of pipe.
Oh.
And I think more what it is that it kind of gets in those cracks and gets inside there and that, because that's not a clean piece.
Right.
And that's where it becomes a problem. And it's able to eat its way through easier at the seam than it is, it's not so much a problem in the pipe as it is in the seam to the next piece.
Huh.
And so when you kind of rotate it through in the tanker, it's not an issue.
Okay.
Because it'll clean itself out as you rotate it around. So, that stuff's kind of interesting to me. I don't know why, but I just find this stuff weirdly interesting and kind of aggravating because people think that it's something that it's not.
Of course. You don't understand how it's...
Yeah, you
don't understand the process.
And it's just amazing to me that, like, somehow, somewhere, somehow along the line, this weird rumor got started, and it's been a thing for 20 years or more.
I'm sure it's been a thing forever.
The person that stated that to me at work this week is like 22 or 23 years old. So it's not just like it's an old guy thing.
Yeah.
That rumor has continued to spread despite it being old and really
bullshit,
baseless.
Yeah.
So interesting. Top tier ratings.
Yeah.
I did some research on this too. Top tier ratings. So there is a group that is supported by a lot of manufacturers, automotive manufacturers, that made this top tier rating, and it's kind of a marketing thing, but it is a standard of additives in the gasoline above and beyond what the EPA requires.
Okay.
So primarily, it has more detergents. So, and then, because modern day cars have a lot of issues with carbon buildup.
Yep.
And the idea was to make these fuels that have more detergents in them to help clean those carbon deposits and make those engines run longer, run smoother, run better, burn cleaner. Everything should be better in theory.
Yes.
Right. And
I mean, that's what Shell does with all their advertisements.
Right. So Shell is a top tier rated company. Yep. That's what they sell. Around here, the QTs.
Yep.
Those are top tier rated. And they still get their gasoline from the same place that Casey's and Hy-Vee and everybody else does.
Right.
But when they order it from, or when they pick it up from the pipeline company, they say, hey, this gas is going to this place. It needs these additives. And so they will add the above and beyond what is the EPA requirement. They'll add the extra things,
Yep.
And that comes at a small price increase.
Right.
Usually when you're buying gas from them. I found an independent, air quotes, independent research.
Paid for by Shell. That's whatever. It's whatever.
No, it was paid for by AAA and done through Consumer Reports.
Okay.
So I think it's as legitimately
as unbiased as you can
and
get.
unbiased as is possible this day and age.
Okay.
They said that there is absolutely an advantage to buying those top tier rated fuels. That it does work, that the detergents are effective, that it does clear out carbon deposits, that the motors will run longer, will last longer, will run smoother, will be more powerful, they'll burn cleaner. To me, I don't know that. Like, my understanding is that some of these people take this stuff so seriously that's all they'll get.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll drive 20 miles out of the way for.
I don't know about that, maybe, but like, if there's two gas stations across the street from each other, I'm going to go to this one, not that one.
Right. I get that.
And I don't know that it's necessarily something you need to do every single time.
No, probably not.
But I can see an advantage to it. I won't disagree with it. At first, I just assumed it was marketing bullshit, knowing what I knew about how gasoline is distributed.
Right.
But it appears to be a thing that could be real. So
all right, then.
I don't know that you should totally dismiss it. So there is an article by Otto Bytel, which is kind of a well-known automotive news-ish website, right?
Okay.
They're not the bottom of the barrel, right? And they wrote this article entitled, "What are gasoline additives?"
Okay.
Okay? This is pointing out stupidity in automotive journalism.
I'm shocked.
By the way, before we get too far into this, let me find this here real quick. All right, here's this. Gasoline additives have the added ability to inhibit corrosion and as a lubricator to improve the fuel traveling through the engine issues.
Okay.
I'm going to read this again because I kind of broke that up a little bit. This is a really poorly written
I could tell already.
Gasoline additives have the added ability to inhibit corrosion
Yep.
and as a lubricator to improve the fuel traveling through the engine issues.
Not the best sentence written in the world.
Very poorly written. All of these issues can increase the compression ratio for greater power and engine efficiency.
I'm sorry. I was just dumbfounded at the.
Increase the compression ratio.
Yep.
All of these issues
So what you're saying is
can increase the compression ratio.
Good Lord. But don't you pay extra to increase your compression?
You should.
Isn't that why you get a cam? So if you're saying if I just run shit gasoline...
No, these are good. You want the more additives you get.
The lubrications from
the more additives you get, the more compression
it gives
you'll
me
have.
compressions.
Yeah, it gives you compressions.
So I want my high compression race engine needs to have the compressions.
You just need more additives. You wouldn't have to pay that for that rebuild if you just run highly additive fuel.
Okay. Sure.
Problem solved.
What website is this?
Otto Bytel.
Huh.
So, types of additives include oxygenates, ethers, antioxidants, anti-knock agents, fuel dyes, metal deactivators, corrosion inhibitors, and, quote, some that can't be categorized, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Gotta have a category.
There's a category.
So this has antioxidants just like my green tea?
It says antioxidants, and then in
Is that when is that
in
for
parentheses behind that stabilizers?
like antioxidants better.
Yeah. So
antioxidants are good for my engine and good for me. That's what I'm taking
some
away.
antioxidants are used as a stabilizer in fuel to prevent oxidization. But that's from the same people who tried to tell me that
They can
additives
change
will
your
increase my compression ratio. So take that with a grain of salt, Robbie.
Oh, don't put a grain of salt in your gas. That's a bad additive.
Certainly not a grain of sugar.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. unless you don't like that guy or girl. But still, probably don't
do that. That's a great way to get knifed in a parking lot, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
If you put sugar in someone's gas tank and they catch you and they kill you, you're at fault.
So yeah.
Speaking of antioxidants,
okay,
that was one of my favorite things my brother and I would do to my mom. Is because she'd get like a green tea or like a blueberry juice or whatever the hell, and it'd say
pomegranate.
Yeah. Full of antioxidants.
Oh.
Antioxidants power. And we'd be like, that's made up. That's not real.
It's total bullshit.
Antioxidants aren't real.
It's not a thing.
It would just get her set off about how, no, they're real. It's good for you and blah, blah, blah. And we're like, antioxidants aren't real. Then we'd make all these like ridiculous claims about like all this other stuff that's like fake made up nutrition facts.
Right.
It was just fun to get her upset over her.
Get her all wound up.
Yeah.
Weird, Robbie.
I know.
Why
I'm
would
an
you
asshole.
do such a thing to your mother?
Because I'm an asshole.
Well, at least you know it.
Yeah.
So
So are we done talking about green tea?
that's my soapbox about fuels.
So yeah, I don't know.
It's probably not that interesting.
No, but you learned something.
I hope that you did.
I walked away with a little bit of
I am
knowledge.
100% certain that on the group this week someone will try to argue with
That's
me.
fine. Well, I mean, if you're watching them fill the gas tanks or fuel tanks at the station, it's not a Casey's truck. It's not
always,
It's
no.
not a Shell truck.
No, certainly not always.
Right.
Every once in a while, because Casey's
Yeah.
does own their own trucks.
Yeah.
You know, and QT does, and all these guys do. But, like, they're not always.
No.
And
It's just a plain white
and
truck.
if you start following that guy around, he'll eventually go back to the same place that all the rest of them have come from. It's just how it works. I know this.
Yeah.
Intimate knowledge.
No,
of
just
how
get a
the
vehicle
system
with
works.
flex fuel. You put whatever you want in it.
Diesel.
Yeah, it's
gas,
fine.
whatever's cheapest.
It says flex fuel. It's
right.
flexible.
Absolutely.
It has antioxidants to decide what type of fuel to disperse.
So while we're bitching about gas and gas stations, this never bothered me until I started working where I work now, where I drive predominantly diesel vehicles.
Yep.
BP stations have all of their handles are green,
Oh yeah. No, that's super annoying.
but green handles
Is diesel.
are diesel.
Yep.
Yellow handles are E85, regular red or black.
Yep.
Can be regular fuel. Blue is 15% ethanol.
Yep. The new Caseys are very distinguished. Yellow is ethanol. Blue is the
Yep.
whatever the other.
There's a
percentage.
reason for that.
Or they're all green.
Actually, I can't say this for certain because I refuse to go there now. But I want to say that at a BP station, their diesel pumps are yellow,
I don't remember, but
and
I
I know all their regular pumps are green
and that's annoying.
because that set me off, and now I won't go there. But I want to say that the diesel pump was yellow, which also upsets me.
I remember when I was 16, I learned that there's the diesel cars have a different size nozzle than the diesel trucks.
Yes,
For obvious reasons,
Yes.
because their tanks are dramatically larger.
yeah, the flow rate that is required to fill up
Yes.
a semi.
And I was filling up my dad's TDI Jetta. So I pulled up to the pump.
Right.
And I tried to put the nozzle in, and it doesn't fit.
Right.
So then I go to the next one, and it doesn't fit.
Right.
And then I'm trying to fill it, thinking like, well, maybe I just need to set this in here just so. But of course, it doesn't work. Just diesel everywhere.
Everywhere.
So I tried a couple of them. I was
smell like that for
I was like, well,
days.
apparently I can't fill up with diesel here. And then apparently it was the only one I didn't check was the one on the end. Well, at this point, I got like, I'm frustrated, so I'm moving the hoses and shit around. So like my pants are filthy. I got diesel and grime and shit
That's like my
everywhere.
That's
And I
my
owe
number
them
one reason for not wanting diesel.
and at this point, I owe them 37 cents on two different fucking pumps. So I have to go in and pay, and then I have to look like a loser because I can't figure it out. And then, of course, while I'm trying to do this, multiple people have come out of the store and told me, "Hey, that's diesel.
That's diesel. Don't fill that up. No, I know.
I know
It's a
fucking
TDI.
TDI." But I'm 16, so they assume I don't know a fucking thing.
And 98% of the time they'd have been right.
I'm sure, and it was just like the stupid commercials. Hey, that's a diesel. I know.
So a few years ago, a couple of us always go to Solo Nats, right?
Yeah.
On Monday.
Yep.
Just go check it out. Well, we went down in Dalton's diesel cruise.
Oh yeah.
And when we were when we were coming home, he had to stop for gas because apparently he put 500 miles on it or some crazy thing like that.
He did not stop for gas, Adam.
Stop for diesel. Sorry, stop for fuel.
He stopped for fuel.
Stop for fuel. Fuck off.
It's just like the movie Driven.
Fuck
you don't put gas in the race cars. You
Fuck
put fuel.
off. God, it drives me nuts. People at work get really upset about it. Like we get guys who like have never driven anything more than their Toyota Camry in their lives.
Yep.
But we require that you get higher commercial driver's license to drive our vehicles because the DOT requires it. So they go out and they get their CDLs, right? They get their chauffeur's permits first, and then eventually you're supposed to, in order to get a raise for a driver's license at the place I work at, you have to have a Class A.
Yeah.
But they go out and they get their chauffeur's license, and all of a sudden they're fucking experts. And they're not getting gas; they're getting fuel. Fuck you. It's all the same.
No.
But anyway,
I did that. I did that.
Dalton.
I did that on the farm.
We tried to. The place we pulled off on the interstate to stop and get fuel, to get diesel.
You're getting diesel.
None of the pumps in the regular car area were open that had the diesel pump on it. So we went over to the big guy area, and there was one that had a regular size nozzle over there.
Okay.
But like Don's like, God, I hate going over here because we're in like this tiny little cruise, right? It's like just the tiniest little thing.
You got this big semi right next to you,
and just like Bubba staring at us out of his little like sidekick window down the bottom of his door because we're 3 inches tall compared to him. Just like, and Dalton just hated it. It was so funny.
That's how I feel when I travel with the truck and trailer, like to the TT Nats and stuff, because we stopped at like kind of the same gas stations on the way there and back. But we stopped to get food, and there's no parking lot.
No, there
except for like a few things right in front of the store, and then there's the truck parking lot where a lot of people are like sleeping and they stay there for days or nights at a time.
Right.
So I had to go through there and then park between two trucks. So I just feel like such a douche. Everyone here with their big trucks, it's just me in a pickup and a trailer.
With your Avalanche and
which is not really a towing vehicle.
No,
it's really just
and like a 2,500 pound car on the back.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm taking up about half as much room. Now I'm just in the way.
Now you're that guy. You're the motorcycle in a busy parking lot.
That's exactly what I am in that parking lot. Because someone.
Well, there's an open spot. Oh,
no, it's an asshole in a pickup.
Some douchebag with his race car.
Little rice rocket.
Loser. Rocket. Probably got like some stupid 4-cylinder in there.
Yeah, just got back from hot import nights. Loser. Car show guy. Been there.
That's all I got, Robbie.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about stuff I'm doing this year?
Should we talk about some of that stuff?
It'll take like no time.
Let's do that, and then we'll save what the last thing we'll do for my opener next week.
I like that.
Let's do that.
Yeah, because
this shit's getting long.
No, it's not. We're moving along.
All right.
So I announced it on my Instagram.
Yes.
But I'm knocking off something that wasn't officially on my bucket list, but it was.
It's on most every Petrolhead's bucket list.
So I got invited to do one lap. And I said yes.
Oh, shit.
I had to. Because it was really funny, because Bill from Team Cornfed, and we've talked about him before, and we've had our sticker on his car before.
Yep.
But he messaged me on like a Friday, and he goes, what are you doing in May? And I was like, oh, I got this, TT.
That's in May?
Yeah, the May 2nd through the 8th,
Okay.
9th through the 9th. So he texted me, he's like, what are you doing in May? And I was like, well, I got a TT event on the 2nd, or that weekend, and I don't know. He goes, well, one lap's that weekend, or that week. I was like, oh, yeah, that's great, man.
Cool.
And it was just kind of funny because he was kind of beating around the bush about it.
Right.
And I was like, wait a second. Are you asking me to skip that TT event and come with you to one lap? He's like, well, yeah. Well, then just say so. Of course I'll skip that.
I'm a guy. You can't do this. It's like talking to my wife.
I knew where he was going, but I was like, I don't want to assume that I'm being invited to the greatest thing ever.
Right.
And then have my dreams crushed.
We know Bill.
Yeah, of course.
We're friendly with Bill.
Absolutely.
But I don't know Bill that well.
No, we haven't hung out a lot up until recently.
Right. So it's kind of a big question.
I thought so.
So.
Well, then of course it's Friday at work, so I'm like, no more work for me today. I am distracted.
I am somewhere else. I'm doing hot laps of Road Atlanta right now.
Yep, I have was one of those things like I had just gotten done having a conversation with Jess on budgeting. Like, you're in school, here's where our tax return is going to go. This is where we're going to save money. Here, this is where everything's going to go. And I come home not 2 days later and say, so that budget.
Remember that budgeting?
That budget conversation's out the window because I've already agreed to this, and we're going to figure out how to make this work. This is one of those. I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
I'll figure out a way to make all of this happen.
What sucks for you is like you're not in the situation I'm in at a job where like, oh, I need some extra money. I'll just work more hours.
Yeah, I don't
like
get
that. Doesn't work for you.
Nope.
You get paid the same,
whether it's 1,000,000 hours or 40 hours.
Right.
Yep.
So like last week I worked 60 hours.
So you got
this paycheck's going to be sweet.
That's awesome. Yeah, that doesn't work for me.
Right.
I just get more vacations.
But you do need two.
Yeah, so I get to go to my boss and say I am gone May 1 through May 10th.
Figure it out.
Which is cool because if you listen to the Brock Yates episode we did years ago,
Yeah, it's been a while.
this has
I went
obviously
back
been
and looked. It's been a long time.
this has obviously been on my radar for a long time. I
Yep.
followed Bill. I followed the Cannonball. I mean, I've been into this since forever.
Right.
Like, even like with Ed Bolian or Alex Roy doing the actual Cannonball, just that mentality. I've always been into it. So when Bill brought it up, I'm like, yeah, we'll figure it out. I'll buy the race suit. I'll buy whatever I need to buy. I'll get the NASA licensing. I'll get the extra liability insurance. It's fine. I'll get it all figured out. Luckily, I already had the umbrella coverage. It's fine.
Yeah.
So we're registered with the C8 Corvette that he ordered,
Dude, that's so good.
but it doesn't have a delivery date.
Oh, fuck.
And I don't know who we can call at Chevy and say, hey,
What do we got to do?
what do we got to do to get this here for this event? Probably nothing we can do. But
We don't know that many people.
yeah, so it's registered with the C8. Obviously, the podcast is a sponsor and a bunch of other cool stuff like that. So if that car shows up in time, and I think we can kind of do a shakedown on it, get comfortable with it, then take it. So not only could it potentially be one lap, I could also be doing one lap in a C8, which is I still haven't wrapped my head around that. I'm telling myself it's not going to happen.
It's probably better to do that instead of building that up in your head.
Yep. So
what's the backup plan? So people know, because I don't know that we've really talked about the car much getting past.
Yep. So he's got a Subaru. I don't know the specifics because
It's an STI.
STI.
Oh,
I really should have looked this up before we talked about this. Yeah, it's in that generation.
Maybe it's newer than that.
But anyways,
Terrible. 06 seems old now.
it's 20.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's a newer one.
It's a newer STI. And so he's like, well, what are you doing this weekend? I was like, well, we should probably let's figure out what we want to do. We talked about the event, so I went over there, and of course it's a Subaru, so we got to pull the engine out, change the head gaskets. So I helped.
Standard Subaru thing.
Yeah, so it's like doing an oil change, really.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
So
every 3,000 miles.
Yeah, so like the most we've ever hung out outside of a Cars and Coffee was me going to his house and us tearing this engine out of his car in the afternoon. And then I went back the next weekend and completely disassembled the engine, and now it's getting sent off to get the heads redone and get everything we need for it.
Yeah.
And then in a few weeks we'll get all that stuff back, and we'll hang out again, and then we'll put the engine back together and put it back in the car.
Right.
And then that's the plan, is to use that car.
Right. So that car it looks like a pretty mild build,
It's
but there's not a lot of.
I want to say it's 450 wheel.
I want to say it's somewhere in the 400 to 500 horsepower range.
Yep. And it's and it kind of makes more sense because on one lap you're only allowed to bring what's in the car and like a spare tire. So that's it. So like a C8 Corvette doesn't really give you a lot of things to carry.
Right.
So, but yeah. So it's 8 days, 8 tracks, 3,500 miles. So just to get started at South Bend, you do an event on the Saturday.
Skid pad.
And then Grissom Air Force Base.
Autocross.
Yep. And then you get done middle afternoon, hightail it over to Memphis for Memphis Motorsports Park.
I think there's a drag strip there.
There is. So
There's always a drag race.
I have the schedule done. So it's their road course and their drag course. So you're doing an event on both, I believe.
Yep.
And then you go to Eagles Canyon on the 4th,
Yes.
just a road
course.
Then you go to NOLA road course.
Which is one of Adam Jabay's favorite tracks.
I really enjoy it on the sim.
Yeah?
It's
It's like a little like country club track. You know?
it's cool. It's
But
cool.
apparently it's super rad.
yeah. So I'm excited about that. I've done that one on the sim enough that I actually kind of feel comfortable. I spent hours on Eagles Canyon the other day.
Is that pretty wild?
Eagles Canyon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems really cool. It
Pretty
seems like,
technical, isn't it?
surprisingly, like there's a lot of blind turns.
Okay.
Maybe not blind is probably not the right word, but there's a decent amount of elevation change.
Okay.
Again, a sim,
On
not
a
the
sim. It's
not
really
the same.
hard to tell.
So I'm fully aware, but I'm speaking about a sim.
One of the other things I've heard some people do is they'll find good in-car video and they'll sit in their sim
Yep,
and they'll
drive it.
drive it and try to match that fast driver's in-car inputs.
Yep, I haven't done that specifically, but I've gotten track breakdowns on every track that I can,
Right.
whether it's through Racers 360 or just stuff that's posted online, the people that have been there. So, like, there's a really good one for Road Atlanta. I can't remember if I have one for NOLA. Eagles Canyon has one. So, I mean, basically any track that I'm going to go to, I've tried to find a video that has a breakdown.
Right.
And the Chin Track Days one for Road Atlanta is very helpful. It just kind of shows, it says, stay the fuck off these curbs. These are okay. Here's your corner workers. You know, it just walks you through the. Just gives you an
That's
idea.
good stuff to know, though.
Very useful for getting comfortable on a track.
Yeah.
And Bill and I aren't going to win the whole thing. Obviously, it's more of a let's just do it. But I also don't want to show up and not have a fucking clue how to drive a track.
Right.
So,
Be that guy.
yeah, May 5th, NOLA. May 6th is Road Atlanta.
Hell yeah.
And Lancier Raceplex. So that's actually a go-kart track next to the racetrack. So I'm not sure what they're doing with that. Maybe an autocross.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
And then we go all the way up to Summit Point.
Hell yeah. You're on Shenandoah, right?
Rumor is Shenandoah. Haven't ran that. I've on iRacing and I've ran the other two circuits, but I haven't done Shenandoah yet.
That's like the crazy one.
Uh-huh.
Grid Life ran there last year.
It looks wild.
It's crazy.
And then
There's a jump, Robbie.
I heard. I have to practice. And then on May 8th, which is Gingerman, and then we finish at South Bend again.
I thought you went to VIR this year.
That got nixed. They pulled out, and just everything was set because the old schedule had it on there.
Yeah.
And last October, they just no more, no VIR.
Ah, shit.
So then they had to figure out what they're going to do, and
That was like another bucket list track.
yeah, VIR was way up there.
Yeah.
I just watched the Dinner with Racers VIR special on
Yep.
Amazon today.
Can you imagine? I think last year, maybe the year before, they went to Sebring.
That's wild. They did NCM last year, too, didn't they?
I don't remember.
I thought they did. Maybe.
Probably.
I don't.
I think it was 2 years ago they went to Sebring.
Yeah, this one I have like memorized because people ask me because I have the map
Yeah.
on my desk against on my cubicle.
Right.
So people have asked me about it. So
what's that?
I have it memorized. I know what day I'm at every place. I have
Right.
the schedule printed out. I have a little folder with all my track maps. I am.
Oh, Robbie, of course you do.
It's not even
Jesus.
February, and I'm ready.
So pumped.
I'm so pumped. I told Jess, I don't care what happens between now and May. I'm not missing this for anything. I'm not going to anyone's fucking wedding.
Right.
I'm not going to anyone's funeral. I don't care.
Right.
They're not getting any more dead if I miss their funeral.
Right.
I'm not missing this event.
Right. Once in a lifetime, potentially.
Yes.
So
I am pumped.
you should be. Super cool.
Yep. So the only thing I need to order for myself is the racing suit, and that's nothing. No big deal.
So I had the opportunity presented to me to be transit driver for somebody this year.
Yep.
And he also wanted me to do some of his social media stuff and whatnot. And I just can't take that many days off of work.
I get it.
I can't. And still be able to do the other things I want to do this year.
Right.
And I don't get enough sleep out when I'm at work.
No sleep.
I don't need to not sleep when I'm on
8 days.
vacation.
For
too.
8 days.
Like that's too much, man.
Well, Jess and I had France planned.
Yeah.
Because we were going to go to the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Yep.
It's going to be a honeymoon.
Right.
And then she thought she needed to go back to college.
You're gonna take Booney.
We were going to go with Booney. It was going to be great.
Right.
but then she can't get away from college for that long.
I understand that.
I was like, well, then I get to vacation. That's great.
Fuck you. I already did my school.
Yep.
I'm not changing careers
So
in my
half
30s.
half the money we were going to spend for that trip, I get to use for my trip.
At least it's not all the money. See
not
how
all-
much money you're saving?
We're saving
You're
half
saving
half
half
of
of
the
it.
money.
That's
there's no flights.
That's perfectly reasonable.
It's perfectly reasonable.
so
So this is the year of track driving.
you're hitting some tracks,
I'm
Robbie.
hitting some tracks. I'm excited.
You're going to knock off a bunch of them.
Yep, Road Atlanta.
That's a big one.
I've done that one on the sim quite a bit.
That's a big track.
I'm kind of memorizing that chin track day video just to get familiar with everything.
Flat through 12, Robbie. Mm-hmm. Flat through 12, Robbie.
Well,
Probably not flat through 12 in somebody else's car your first time going there.
yeah, Red Mist. I can't. 3
You're
years,
not the red mist guy.
2-3 years ago, I would have said that. Now that I'm more comfortable on track, probably gonna be more comfortable.
Well, I get that.
It was
but-
just like 2-3 years ago. Would I have built an engine and then gone Red Mist on track within 30 minutes?
No. Absolutely
I did last
not.
year. I did
know
last
you
year.
did last year. I know.
I was bouncing off that rev limiter.
Things are changing. Robbie's growing up.
It's fine. It's fine.
You need to get that rev limit changed a little bit.
No.
I thought you were going to bring it down a touch.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
Bring it up.
No. Just
You got that AccuSump now. You can go higher.
I don't want to go any higher. It's at the right spot. I just need to just drive better.
Well, maybe your new gearing will help.
It will change dramatically.
Yeah.
One thing I did on R Factor, I went back to Gateway. Same car I was using last year to practice. I had updated the. I don't know if we talked about it on the show. Doesn't matter.
the show, no.
Yeah, so
Excuse me.
I changed. I had the gearing matched to what the 240 has with the
Yeah.
256 and the 240 SX diff.
Yep.
And then I switched to what I have now with 256 gearing with a 350Z diff, and I was seconds faster right out the gate on the sim. So we'll see what it actually does in
Yeah.
reality,
But-
and who knows? Like I drove that track this time last year, and then I never went back to the sim on it until recently. So that could have been part of it too. Is now I know the track. You know,
Right.
I've developed a little bit as a driver, so that could have been a huge part of it too.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, I think the gearing is going to be a huge change. I'm excited.
One lap, Robbie.
Bill said when he said it was like a bucket list thing, and now he doesn't want to miss any of them ever. So
I think that's what's wrong with one lap.
that might be.
I've never met anyone who's done it and been like, it was all right.
It was a good bucket
It was
list
a good
thing.
time. Like, I don't need to do it again. But it was a good time. Everybody I know, and I know a large number of people who have done one lap,
Uh-huh.
and they have to do it again and again and again and again.
Guess how many people are on the wait list?
All of them.
50 teams.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I get to
They
be on
could
the
do
team.
2 a year.
If you look at if you go to the website and look at the entries, I'm the second one. I'm on there.
They could do 2 a year if they wanted. That'd be no problem.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, I'm super excited. It's gonna be a good year.
Crazy, Robbie. I'm super excited for you.
I
It's going to
appreciate
be really, really awesome, I'm sure.
Yes.
So,
Keep moving.
yeah, let's do some news
All right.
if I can get it open.
All right. Just get it up for me. Wait, what? The news.
Not for you, Robbie.
Just get the news up for me.
Oh, I got the news up. We're good to go.
Just pop
there.
just
Don't
pop
you-
it right up.
Just it's popped right up. The
But
autumn.
this is where we need a third person to yell phrasing. 'Cause it's weird if I
just
say
need
it.
the buttons.
Yeah. Oh, this should be a radio show. We need a we need a button to replace the third person.
There you go. Since we
I like
can't
it.
find one. The Autobahn has lost its largest supporter.
Have they?
Kind of.
No.
It was a really weird.
So basically, it's a local club of
I
enthusiasts.
think it's like I can't tell if it's like
It's not like an
an
SCCA.
enthusiast club. Like, I don't know if it's like a SCCA for the street, or is it like
Like a local
the
scene
is
of
it
guys.
an auto club in the way the AAA is an auto club?
It kind of seems like it has an official name,
Yeah,
but
Like, I
it's
almost
but
think
they're
that
all kind of German words and they don't make sense to me.
yeah. So I don't really know what they are.
Let's assume they're somewhat official.
But supposedly they were a large supporter of the unrestricted sections of the Audubon.
And they've lobbied to keep it that way.
They have lobbied heavily to keep it that way. And they have officially announced that they are kind of softening on that stance. They're not against it.
No.
They're not as for it as they were.
Right.
And so I think it's more that they're just not going to lobby for or against.
And just kind of let...
Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. The biggest takeaway for me was that they didn't pick a side, but they basically said we want to support studying the safety effects of what we have now versus what we could change. Like, and that's in all reality, not to get political, but like that's how we should be approaching all of these tough subjects.
Yeah.
Throw some legit science at it, some legit facts, and then let's adjust accordingly.
It's weird that the Germans are the ones doing that.
Yeah. Because we can't seem to do it here for anything.
But that's kind of the German way.
Yes. Stats and statistics. Let's figure out an answer.
Yeah.
The answer's there.
Let's make the most engineered approach to this.
I mean, is it safer to have higher speeds where everyone's alert, or put a limit on it that's slower that people could get complacent like they do in America? Because the driving culture there is not even close to what it is here.
No. I remember I was like 9 when I got the opportunity to go and visit family members in Germany.
Right.
And a lot of their, what we would consider country roads, they're
Like a blacktop?
they were paved, but they were not they were not as developed as like a 2-lane blacktop around here. They were like lane and a half.
Like a Missouri road.
Yeah, but I think even narrower than that.
Like a Missouri back road.
Stuff's scary. I've
Like-
been on a few of them.
Like double E in Missouri on the way to the Ozarks.
Right.
It's a road, but it's not as wide as it should be. There's
No.
trees like right there.
Yeah. And they hustle down these roads.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was terrifying. As a 9-year-old kid, I was like, this is dumb.
We're flying.
This is stupid. We shouldn't be going this fast.
This is dangerous.
You can't see around that corner. This road is barely wide enough for this Volkswagen Passat. What happens if there's another one? It was terrifying. It's a very different driving culture.
Trucks aren't exactly a big thing over there like they are here, right?
No, if you're going to see
vans and
if
other
you're going to see
stuff.
trucks, they're going to be small ones.
Okay. Yeah, because they don't transport goods in semis like they do here.
They do it more like straight trucks than
Okay. Right.
the trailer tractor combination units that we use around
I
here.
thought so.
They're more straight trucks.
I never left this country. I'm very sheltered.
I got lucky in
Yeah.
that respect once.
I was going to this year, but I didn't. I'm doing one lap instead.
You'll get there someday, Robbie.
I have a passport.
Or you'll do one lap from now to the rest of your life.
One can dream. One can dream.
It's so funny. But I don't. From what I've heard about the Audubon, like
You
the
don't even-
times when it almost never gets to the point where they shut off the limits anyway, because there's so much congestion.
And we have talked about it on the show
Like-
a while ago.
Like,
but
does it really matter?
no.
Who cares?
If the statistics come out and say that leaving it the way it is going to cause less deaths, great, let's do it. But if it comes back and says we're going to save 400 lives by switching it, and the studies show, and it's not like some biased bullshit, let's adjust it.
I don't know. Like, I've been doing a lot of interstate traveling lately
Yeah.
for work, daytime hours instead of like really early in the morning, like I do
Right.
to get to work.
When it's busy.
Right. It kind of seems like no one. If you're going to speed, you're going to speed.
Right.
Whether there's a speed limit or not, it seems like people kind of pick a speed and go there.
They go where they're comfortable.
And I'm not sure that having a limitless section is really that big a deal anyway.
It shouldn't be that big of a...
Because the people who are going to go
Disruption.
fast are going to go fast. They don't care,
Yeah.
it seems.
And I'm not sure how
They seem
that,
to just play the numbers.
yeah, I'm not sure how their interstates are set up, like lane wise and whatnot. But I mean, if your road isn't really set up for it, it's not going to work. So like if like I-80 for example,
Yep.
you couldn't put it as a no limit or no speed limit section of road because of how freaking busy it is.
Right.
You would always be congested. You always like that person that would wants to go
They would
fast.
need another lane.
Absolutely. You would have to have a lane, kind of what they do in Michigan, where you got the 2 lanes dedicated for trucks, and you got the 2 lanes, or the lane for the cars that you can kind of intermingle in the middle lane.
Watching like Top Gear challenges and stuff like that, because that's like the extent of my Autobahn experience.
Right.
Is watching somebody else drive on it. It seems to be kind of the way it is. That the far
And that
left lane is the let's go fucking fast lane.
And that makes sense. But like here, we're not set up for that. Whereas there, they are.
Right.
So, yeah, who knows what the studies actually come out with? But I'm convinced that if the road's set up for it, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Who cares?
This is America. We don't care about Germany.
So I just think it's interesting that they are even talking about killing it, because it's kind of one of those
Heritage.
things that's so ingrained in the minds of foreigners in Germany.
Yeah.
You're like that. Maybe it's just because I live in a car world, but the two things I think of when I think of Germany is the Autobahn and the Nürburgring.
Absolutely.
You know, and I realize that the Nürburgring is the car guy in me, or even just like the road racing car guy in
Yes.
me. But like the Autobahn, I think is something that transcends car culture even.
Yeah, I'd say so. Everybody knows about it.
Right. And so doing away with it is kind of,
I think it would do them disservice, like tourism wise.
I don't know. I don't know
And
if
who
that's
knows?
true.
And who knows how many people are like, well, we're in Germany, we got to go. I mean, we would. If I was in Germany, I'd want to go.
Yeah.
But you take the speed limit away, then or put the speed limit on it, then maybe not.
No, I wouldn't care. It's just
Right.
a road.
Right.
Problem is, I think I'd get out there and be like, this is fucking stupid. And I'd bitch out, and I wouldn't go that fast on it anyway.
Yeah. But again, the culture's different. So yeah, they actually treat the left lane as a fast lane.
Yeah, but I'm American, and I'm
You're just gonna sit in the
like,
left
this
lane.
is fucking terrifying. Why are people driving so fast? Where are you going?
Why'd you have to be there so fast?
What are you running from?
Lots of stuff, probably.
Probably.
Their feelings. I'm running away from my feelings.
Well, I don't think you can drive fast enough to get away from those, Robbie.
I'm gonna try.
You do that.
I will.
Mazda unveils possible race-ready upgrades for its popular models.
And they picked the worst color.
I couldn't disagree more with you, Robbie. I love it.
Primer gray with a clear coat. Come
I
on,
like
man.
these like steel metal gray colors.
That's not steel metal gray. That's primer.
I like these colors. It's kind of like Audis.
Just use their primer color.
I like it though.
It's primer with
It's
a tint
shiny
of blue.
primer.
It's
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 Robbie-
primer with a tint of blue.
We're never going to agree with this. It's fine.
Everything else I'm on board.
Lots of people love that color, Robbie. I don't know what to tell you.
Lots of people have bad taste. It's
Lots of
fine.
people haven't worked in body shops.
That's true. That doesn't make me an expert or
I
anything.
think that's what it boils down to.
A lot of people. Yeah, and I'm all about. I had a silver car. I had multiple silver cars. I was all about plain colors.
See, I can't wrap my head around the thought of repainting a car and purposely making it silver.
It's platinum pearl. It had pearl. It was like, you know what? We're paying extra for this primer.
I like this color way more than silver.
Oh my god.
Silver's just like the same color as every grandma's Camry.
This is the same color as
No
every
way,
car,
bro. That's
as every car that's not finished.
that's steel blue.
No, it's not. It's primer blue.
Nah, it's cool. I like that color.
Oh my goodness. It doesn't even have any metallics.
It doesn't need metallics.
It needs it.
No, race cars don't need metallics.
Yes, it doesn't need chrome and metallics.
Nah, bro. Race cars need like
Satin chrome and metallics.
gunmetal grays.
No.
Yeah.
Gunmetal gray don't photograph for shit.
That's not my problem.
It is.
No, it's not.
You got to get in front of the sponsors. You need them to.
Nah, I want like a dark, ominous
No.
thing.
No, that's the hot boy thing. You go to the car shows with the dark ominous. Like the race cars, you need flash.
I think you got that backwards.
No.
I think you got that backwards.
I need to
Robbie.
photograph well at high
I
speeds.
think you got that backwards, Robbie.
Nope.
I think
Everyone needs flash.
you got that backwards.
We have changed.
Have we?
Haven't we? Was I about the Flash a few years ago?
I think I've always been about this color.
Needs more chrome.
You can never have enough chrome, Robbie.
But what are they actually doing? So they're taking their Miata, their I don't know what the other cars are.
Mazda 3
And what's the bigger
and
one?
the Miata. Both of those make perfect sense.
And the CX-5.
And a small crossover SUV. So you've got your fun, lightweight, sporty roadster.
Yep.
Totally makes sense.
I'm in on that.
You're cool looking. I really like it anyway.
Hot hatch?
Hot hatch
Yeah.
with like a fun turbo motor and like a manual transmission.
Yep.
And it's pretty cool and it's fun.
Yeah.
And a crossover SUV.
Yeah, the crossover doesn't make any sense.
It's race ready, Robbie.
For
It's ready for shredding tires.
Yeah, against the edge.
Absolutely.
So that they're
Except that the CX-5 is more smaller.
yeah, it is.
It's more like a C-Max.
Yeah, it's closer to a Subaru.
It'd be like a C-Max ST.
Yeah,
Whereas like a CX-7 could have been like a Ford Edge competitor.
I don't know. I never looked.
Why do I know so much about
Yeah, what are you shopping?
CX-5s and
Yeah, what are
CX-7s?
you doing in your free time? Have you picked out a car to replace the cars that you currently own, and it's a CX-7?
Yeah, none of them are Mazdas, especially new ones. I mean, I would own a new Mazda 3 if they made a Speed, which I don't think they currently do. I really like the old Mazda Speed 3s.
Yeah, I get it.
They were cool.
They're fun little cars.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would have a hard time buying a Mazda or buying a Miata over a 124.
Yeah, unless the price is dramatically different.
I don't remember. I think they were
They
close
should.
enough
They
that
shouldn't
it
be,
didn't
especially
really matter.
depreciated. They should.
And
be
I really like the 124.
I get it. I do.
Even outside of being friends with Michael.
You know, I completely agree.
So, and I still think that car with a little bit of development should be faster than the Miata
Yeah, for like no effort.
because there's a turbo motor. It should make more power.
Yes.
So, I don't.
So yeah, but what they're doing is they're getting performance parts like roll bars and like suspension components
Yep.
and body stiffening components, wheels. Yeah, basically stuff that you could just order it and you got it from Mazda.
So they haven't officially said that that's what they're going to do.
They're
But
concepts.
They're going to make
They're
these.
concepts.
Yeah, these were Tokyo Auto Salon concepts, which Tokyo Auto Salon I think is kind of like the over the top SEMA of Japan.
A little bit, yes.
Seems like from the outside looking in. So it's hard to say whether these are just fluff pieces or if this is a direction that Mazda wants to go with some of their like parts department stuff.
Based on Mazda's history with motorsports, I feel like this is one
So
step
direction
towards
they could
reality.
go. Yeah. I think it'd be cool if I could go and buy like, for lack of a better term, like Mopar parts for my Mazda from Mazda.
Yeah.
Like aftermarket performance parts, but they're still factory parts. They're factory fit and finish. They're not going to hurt my warranty.
Like what Nissan should be doing with their Nismo department.
Nissan's dead to me, Robbie. I don't even want to talk about it.
Maybe they'll come back. Maybe.
Mr. Sneak out of the country in a
He's got nothing to do with it no more.
he is convinced that is a sinking ship, and he was
know he
not
is.
going down with it.
He's going down for like a million other reasons.
Nah, dude,
It's got nothing to do with.
He snuck out of the country in a music instrument box. Did you hear about this shit?
Yeah, I know he did. Yeah,
That Carlos
Goshen or
Ghosn?
Ghosn? I don't know his name.
It's I think it's Ghosn.
Yeah, so he's hiding out
Ghosn.
in a different country.
Now he's in Lebanon, which he is a citizen of, and they have no extradition laws.
Yeah, so it's fine. But anyways,
So he's not going anywhere.
if Nissan does anything productive with the Z and the GTR, and like dramatically changes them both, they'll be back.
They need a cheap enthusiast car,
Yes.
and they need to stop making shitty SUVs with
What is-
CVTs in them.
Yeah. What did they call that little concept car they
The
had?
IDQ.
That was so cool. The IDQ.
I didn't love the way that it looked.
No, but the idea.
I love the idea. I didn't like the execution.
At that price range and the performance they were claiming it was going to do, It made perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they didn't do it.
No.
And now Nissan's dead to us,
Yeah.
except pre-2009.
All I see in the news about Nissan is bad stuff.
Yeah, it's sad.
So,
Anyways,
anything
Mazda.
else about these?
ugly cars.
Robbie, they're not ugly.
Give me some color.
Nah, bro, I like these.
You know, if you had clear vision, you could see that
In
these
a-
need to be
in a
bright
world-
colored. You're wearing a bright shirt.
In a world of bright, this is a
world of gray.
nah, bro. This is in a world of like brightly lit things and
No.
colors and excitement. We need a little gray and gloom in our life.
No, this is a world full of gray and gloom and sad people, and these are gray and gloom cars. They bring us down.
For the masses, Robbie.
No, the masses need to be brought up. We cannot be on the sinking ship of misery that is the American culture. We need to be happy. Happy is
these
bright
are the,
colors.
These are the Japanese.
For the American market,
It's very different. No, that's not necessarily for us.
they're for everybody.
Let's be real, Robbie. If they actually do this, they're probably not going to bring them here.
No, Japan always brings it here, except the GTR, the original.
And the Yaris GR. And all the other things that I want, Robbie.
That's like one thing.
K cars,
Okay, that's true. So,
Skylines,
yeah,
S15s.
they came to Canada.
Do we live in Canada, Robbie?
It's so cold out. I feel like I'm in Canada.
Yeah, but we're not. That's the really dumb part.
I could drive to Canada.
So not only do we have the bullshit cold, but we don't have S15s.
Damn it. No good.
Ain't no good.
Just another letdown.
Yep. Wayne Taylor Racing wins the Daytona 24.
Damn right they did.
Damn right they did.
By a
Robbie
full
says.
minute.
Robbie's a big WTR fan.
I do like WTR. Actually, I just like endurance racing in general.
You like, yeah.
I watched because I had to help you. I didn't get to watch.
Sorry, Robbie.
I didn't get to watch the start or any of the afternoon.
You could have just like said, "All right, well, try
actually,
not to burn anything down. I'm going inside."
actually, what I should have done is I should have hooked that TV back up in the shop and used my Wi-Fi range extender and just streamed it in there.
Yeah.
I almost did, but
Yeah.
I was too concerned with just getting your shit right.
So,
I'm just gonna do this pictures.
Cadillac DPI.
Yep.
They won. They placed. Was it fifth? That they qualified fifth or
I don't
seventh?
remember. I didn't pay attention to qualifying.
I think they were fifth, and they were 7/10 off pace. I know there's a 5 and a 7 in there. Pretty sure they were fifth in qualifying, and they were 7/10 off pace.
Do you know if the DPI class has the same qualifying format and the driver format as the rest of the?
Don't have any idea how
don't-
they qualify.
It seems like they don't, because like in the lower the GTLM classes,
GTLM, GTD.
because you're required to have a gentleman driver, and they do the driver grades.
Yeah.
So you have to-
Yeah,
you
that's
can-
all. I don't think the DPI stuff has.
I don't think they do.
because I don't know who would have been that.
That gentleman driver and who would have been their grade C driver, because they have to. I think they can have 2 grade A drivers, one
they-
grade C driver, and 1 gentleman driver.
They had
and
Scott Dixon and Kobayashi, who are clearly not slouches.
guaranteed A drivers.
Yeah. I don't remember the names of the other 2 people, but they were not names that I recognized. So maybe
I don't think so though. I think that I didn't look. I know they had rules about gentleman drivers.
Ryan Briscoe and Renger Vanderzand, Scott Dixon and Kumai Kobayashi.
Yeah, I'm not. I should be more familiar with that. And like 4 days ago, I probably was, but not enough to repeat it today.
So their third Rolex 24 in 4 years.
Pretty impressive.
They've already been talking about a trip to Le Mans.
Yes, as they should be.
Should be super fucking rad.
Oh, by the way, if you wanted to know what it costs to be a gentleman driver, it's roughly $2 million.
Oh, it's good. Well, now
I
that
know, 'cause,
now
like,
I
I
have a moving target with which to point at.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Because
So-
I mean, they go through 30 sets of tires. That's $70,000 right there. Isn't that crazy?
It's so crazy, dude.
30 sets
Fucking wild. So they set a new distance record.
by like a lot.
833 laps, smashing the 2018 previous record of 808.
Yeah, there was.
So that's
There was
2,965.48 miles in 24 hours.
which is 600 less than the one lap of America.
Yeah, but not in 24 hours.
There was a smaller field, so there was a lot less cautions this year. It was nonstop racing because I didn't watch the beginning, but I watched a handful of hours after you left and Jess was wrapping up her school stuff. So I just sat in the living room and watched racing for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then I watched it when I woke up.
Uh-huh.
Actually, I watched it from when I woke up till it ended. I bet I watched close to 10 hours.
So that's 123 miles an hour.
That's a fast average. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so good.
That's ridiculous.
What's kind of funny to me is like you can see the drivers, like the gentleman drivers or the guys that are getting tired and distracted, because it's hard to keep your composure and your focus for 4 or 5 hours at a time.
Yeah,
so you'll see
they were
guys
talking about quadruple stints and stuff like that in there. That's
Yep.
crazy.
So you'll see guys blow through turns and then try to get back on track. So it's just like it's just it kind of makes me feel better about myself if I make a mistake on track and go off. It's like these are pros. These guys are paying $2 million to be there.
Yeah, but that's endurance racing. You don't know what
How long they've been going.
Yeah.
They just finished peeing in their seat.
do a champ car race and get back to.
I would love to.
Well,
And I'm getting the suit so I can.
next year
I'm in.
we'll make that
This year,
happen,
whatever.
too.
Well, all the tracks, all the time. I don't care.
I got a full team for Coda already. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Robbie.
that's all good.
And it's the week after festival, which I didn't realize.
It's a lot of travel for you.
Yeah, it's gonna suck. So, first race of the Corvette, I think.
They got fourth place.
Fourth
I didn't
place
take
in
a picture.
class?
I don't have a picture of that.
Pretty sure it was the first race of the Corvette.
Yes. Yeah.
For sure, the first 24.
Yeah.
I don't know if they raced it like
No, I don't think so.
T.
Not that I'm aware of.
Mans.
No.
I don't think they did.
This is
either.
the first one.
I think this is the first race.
Yep. So they got fourth place.
Oh, that's
which
right,
is-
because they unveiled the car at Petit Le Mans.
Yeah.
And they did like a hot lap or two, but it wasn't in the race. So that's cool.
Yeah. It's
Fourth place overall, or fourth place in
place.
class
Yep.
is nothing to shake a stick at, especially when you're racing with those guys. Porsche's just super fast. I mean, what do you do about it?
Well, BMW won.
I know, but still.
But yeah, so it was for being their first race. They're off to a good start.
Yeah.
I mean, again, talk about taking it to the Le Mans. So
Yep.
get some stuff sorted out. Get
Yep.
some comfort. I think
I
it'll
would
be
say
it's
for
competitive for
a
sure.
fresh car, just like not breaking down the first 24-hour race you do, especially if that's the first race you've done. That's nothing to be ashamed of.
No, it's a great starting point.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
a new program.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see where that'll go. Still kind of hate that if it's fast, they'll just BOP it back into line.
Yeah, that sucks.
But what do you do?
Yeah.
So,
I really like how many LED lights these vehicles have at night.
Jesus Christ.
I was so pumped when I watched the Lamborghinis with their air dam ducting.
Were
all
you
lit
getting
up.
ideas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to do night races. Midiv needs to do night TTs. That's what we need to be doing.
I feel like you did a night race with Grid Life, and you
I
were
need to-
like, this is stupid. I'm never doing this
I need to get
again."
comfortable at it. I need more. I need more.
Okay.
So I need to. I didn't like it because I wasn't comfortable and I wasn't confident in my
And
driving.
it was wet.
And it was wet.
And it was a track you didn't know that well.
No.
And I think you still had the shitty headlights in the car at the time.
Yes, I did.
So
So again, a lot of things against me.
I'll give you that one, Robbie. I'll
So
give you that
I
one.
need to go back and do it more so I can get comfortable.
Okay.
I also need to put more lights on the car.
I mean, it's a
I-
safety thing.
I need more. Yeah, people need to see my air dam and my radiator from
Right.
far away.
Right. And at night you can hit that shit and be flexing in the paddock.
Fuck yeah.
So good.
More night races for everybody.
Hell yeah.
'Cause I posted
I do think it's funny that they light up
the whole air dam.
the
Well, I
air
thought-
inlet to the radiators and stuff.
I thought it was just like one strip of lights, but they actually had like a full strip all the way, like a windowsill.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun.
It's quite the deal, man. Those cars are
They're so good.
so cool looking.
What are those called?
Hurricanes. Hurricanes.
Hurricanes.
Hurricanes.
The Lamborghini Hurricanes.
The Lamborghini. Rock me like a hurricane.
And I'm not gonna say it right because I,
don't
don't
know.
care.
I don't know how he wanted me to say it.
Shit. Huracan.
Huracan?
Fuck, I don't know now.
Huracan.
Yeah. Huracan.
Huracan? I don't know.
And now I don't care. Because it bothers somebody, and it's the same as when I tip those plaques on the wall to the side.
Oh, shit, I forgot to do that.
That's fine.
Did you see that Andy finally made a comment about it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Yep. So saying a car wrong or tipping things that OCD people bothered,
Right.
I'm all for it.
Hyundai.
Hyundai,
Porsche.
Beamer.
No,
No, that's too easy. Nobody cares. We already had the BMW episode last week.
it's true. So, I think that's all I got, Robbie.
That's all I got for
Should
this
we wrap
week.
this up?
Yeah, we'll be back next week.
Probably.
Sure.
Or we won't be.
Or we'll be snowed in, and you'll won't be
Don't
able
put
to
that on me, Robbie. I have far too much work for the snow.
Well, maybe you'll just have to have a nice, big, strong pickup to come pull you out of the ditch, and I'll
If
come
it
save
snows,
you.
I'll just bring my work truck because it's an unstoppable force.
Like my avalanche.
No. Well beyond your avalanche. This thing is ridiculous.
Oh shit!
It's got a ton of weight over the back axle, and it does not stop.
That's nice. That's good.
It's ridiculous.
That's good.
It's got duals on the back, so we like to say it's four-wheel drive, but on one axle.
It's true.
It is.
Technically.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. We'll catch you guys next week.